Hi, I'm Mary Jo Boyd here with another eBite from Attorney Computer Systems. Today's eBite is going to be in trust, and I'm going to talk about the difference between an EFT and a check and when to use those and why. And it might sound kind of obvious, but there's a couple little gotchas that I want to make sure that you're aware of, and so I'm just going to explain the ins and outs of both of those features and how to use them. So let's take a look. So in my trust transaction screen, if I'm going to put in a new transaction, we obviously know if we're going to write a check that we're going to choose check as the option. And if we've already written the check and we've written it, or typed it somewhere else, and we just need to enter the check in here, we're always going to put the check number in. That's a manual check. So we've already written the check. We're not printing it through the program. I could put in check number 123 and continue with my description. And then, who it's to and all of that. It's just like I'm entering the check after the fact. If I'm going to actually print the check, I'm going to leave this as 0. And then I'm going to put in my description, I'm going to put in my payee, and then I can go out and I can print checks over here, and I can choose to print this check at that time. It will give it the next number, you can verify that number and all of that, and then it will fill this in after the check is printed, and it will show down here that it was a check with a check number. If I had put this in as a manual check and actually manually put in a check number, it would immediately pop down here with the check number already in place. There would be no printing it. It would already have been done. So when you're writing a check, just keep in mind, is it something that somebody has already taken and typed it out or written, before, and I'm entering it now, or is it something I'm going to print and actually, through the program and use the checks? That's the difference in whether you put the number in or whether you don't. Now, EFT. The reason I'm going to cancel out of this so that we can get back in here. So EFT, the confusion with EFT comes in is whenever you put money into the bank, sometimes you're electronically transferring the money into the bank, but we never want to use an EFT for that. We would always use a deposit. When we're working in trust, anytime we put money into the bank, it's always a deposit, never an EFT. So even if you're electronically moving the money, whatever that is, it's always a deposit. EFTs are only going to be used for electronic fund transfer that is going out of the bank account. So just keep that in mind. This EFT here is always going to take money out, just like a check. So we want to go ahead and use EFT, moving money out if it's electronically. We're not going to write a check. You can see that's grayed out. We're going to call the bank, or we're going to wire the money, or whatever it is that we're going to do. We are going to do it electronically and not print anything. So that is when you would use the EFT. Same kind of a concept. You can put in the amount, put in the payee in the description, and it will show up immediately down here as an EFT that has happened for that account. And it will reduce this trust balance by whatever that amount is. The other time that you can use an EFT is if you're doing an internal transfer between trust accounts. Let's say that you accidentally deposited, $500 into Philip Marcus's account under matter 1 when it was supposed to go into Philip Marcus's matter number 3. And you need to move it from matter 1 to matter 3. You can do that with an EFT, and what I would do is I would do an EFT out of 1 and a deposit into 3, and that would just do an internal transfer, and on my reconciliation I would just be checking both of those off because they're not going to really show on my bank. I'm just doing an internal movement of that money. So that's another way that you can use electronic fund transfer. I hope this eBite's been helpful for you. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to visit our website or to give us a call. Thank you.